While the crypto market has fallen into the red, NFTs are back in the game. Welcome to the Daily Forkast, May 6th, 2022. I'm Megha Chaddah of Forkast, covering all things blockchain. Crypto prices followed the broader market down overnight, but things are looking much brighter in the NFT space, with the sales back on the rise. We'll take a look at that plus a whole lot more coming up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world.
Join thousands of NFT traders who already start their day on CryptoSlam.
Let's kick off with a market update, where the bounce in the wake of the Fed's rate hike proved very short-lived. Thursday saw the worst performance for the Nasdaq composite since June 2020, with the index closing down almost 5%. And the crypto market swiftly followed, losing over 7% of its total capitalization in the 24 hours to Friday morning in Asia. Most major tokens also fell, wiping out any gains they made yesterday, with Bitcoin down around 8%. It was trading at around $36,500 Friday morning in Asia. Meanwhile, US 10-year yields, a metric which is often inversely correlated to the broader markets, rose to 3.035%, the highest mark since 2018. Bitcoin has become strongly correlated with traditional markets in recent months, as more traditional funds have connected to digital assets. Meanwhile, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, has placed 88 Chinese companies on its pre-delisting list. Among them is mining rig maker Canaan. It's on the list as the SEC has determined that it used an auditor whose working paper cannot be fully inspected by the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, or PCAOB. Canaan has until May 25th to dispute being added to the list, and the company made a statement yesterday saying it will continue to comply with applicable laws and regulations in both China and the United States and strive to maintain its Nasdaq listing. The PCAOB is seeking access to the audit working papers of New York-listed companies which are stored in China. However, China has rejected such requests on national security grounds. Reuters reported in April that both countries are discussing an audit agreement to avoid the delisting, with Beijing hoping to sign a deal within the year. The US Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act stipulates that a company put on such a list by the SEC for 3 consecutive years may face delisting. You can find those stories and more at Forkast.News. Over in the NFT space, after a sluggish couple of months, the NFT bear market has finally come to an end as monthly sales volumes grew by 48% in April over March. Forkast Lachlan Keller has more.
NFT sales in April hit $3.6 billion. That's more than $600 million higher than in February, despite being recorded across nearly 15% fewer buyers than that month. Megha Chaddah of NFT data aggregator CryptoSlam told Forkast that the market is maturing and investors are being more selective about what they purchase, so they're probably transacting less frequently but in much bigger ETH amounts. According to the Chainalysis State of Web 3 report preview, as of May 1st, investors have already sent $37 billion to NFT marketplaces this year. That puts them on pace to beat 2021's total of $40 billion. The report also showed that NFT trading is truly a global phenomenon, with no single geographical region recording more than 30% of all NFT marketplace web traffic since the beginning of the year. March's NFT market dip coincided with a short-lived revival of the crypto market when the market cap grew steadily to reach a 2-month high of over $2 trillion. Now when NFT sales are up while the crypto market is down, a narrative that the NFT market is inversely correlated with the crypto market has arisen. However, Pesce says that while crypto moves along with the stock markets, NFTs are riding their own wave. He says that NFT cycles seem to move around major NFT news and not much more, and that over time as NFTs become more mainstream, they will probably fall into more typical patterns. Looking ahead, Pesce says he's looking forward to more play-to-earn experiences, like the other side from Yuga Labs, coming from all corners of the metaverse. He believes it could be an exciting year to come. For Forkast, I'm Lachlan Keller.
And finally, Hong Kong's love of NFT artwork seems to know no bounds, with no fewer than 3 exhibitions underway all at once. Forkast's Danny Park went to take a look.
NFTs are popping up everywhere around Hong Kong, on buildings, billboards, and trams. And here at the K11 malls in Tsim Sha Tsui, 3 major NFT events are being held simultaneously. We see big names from the world of finance, crypto, and the art scene, such as Visa, HSBC, and AAX riding on the NFT wave big time. One of Hong Kong's most visited luxury shopping malls, K11 Musea, is currently studded with over 200 NFT artworks by 30 different artists across 9 floors. The noteworthy lineup includes NFT collectibles that have already a huge following, such as the Bored Apes, renowned artists such as Joan Cornella that have turned their art into NFTs, and local Hong Kong artists such as the 8-year-old artist Ng to the French girl who sees massive opportunities ahead.
Then going to the more creative part of it, of course, NFTs, the digital world, digital arts, and the metaverses will offer a lot more opportunities to be creative. You don't have the same laws of physics, right? So your artwork could be flying or could be flipping, of course, could be moving, could be giant size, could be underwater. There's no limit to creativity.
At the same time, in a nearby branch of K11 shopping mall, global crypto exchange AAX is displaying their NFT collection in a pop-up called Apes, Pixels, and Gods.
We all, human beings, we started as apes, starting from clay. And then as we actually interact with technology, in this case pixels, we do have the potential to become as if we were gods. And what that means is, we're able to expand our capabilities, we're able to expand our skills, to have more knowledge, have a more profound experience of the world in a kind of interconnected way. But on top of that, there's another question, which is, if that's true, that we are able to create our world through technology, it comes with a great responsibility as well. And so this pop-up is also about questioning, where do we who do we ascribe power to? Who do we give that voice? And that's the question of kind of the crypto gods, I guess.
Just a minute's walk away from AAX's display stands an exhibition of Japan's leading NFT artists that cover fashion, installation art, and more, emphasizing that NFTs add value because they leave a digital footprint of an artwork's history.
For us, NFT is just a certificate. It's a registry, right? To record the ownership, the history of an work. So that's why we're trying to showcase to the audience in Hong Kong that NFT is not just about pixel art. It could also as a utility that to prove the ownership, the authenticity, and also the provenance on a physical art, just like the land registry.
NFTs have already become a force of nature in opening new channels for expression and appreciation for both artists and viewers. But where does the future lie? And are they worth parting with some cash for?
I really have no idea if 20 years from now CryptoPunks are anything interesting or whether they're a solid investment product. I don't know. I really don't know. Nobody knows. The small picture is actually NFTs, the technology around it allows us to pinpoint a unique asset to a particular address and just pinpoint it there and keep it there. And that idea of something not being replicable in terms of ownership, that in itself is the innovation.
And while some remain skeptical over the real value of NFT artworks, it has to be remembered that many new technologies or art forms were viewed in a similar light when they first emerged.
I think the first time NFTs came on my radar was with CryptoKitties. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. But I'm a kind of sound money guy, right? So I'm really strong on the Bitcoin narrative. And I thought to myself, this is very frivolous. What are people doing? But at the same time, we do have to understand that this is also how people experiment with technology. And so I'm open-minded generally to, I know when Bitcoin first came out, people were very skeptical. And actually, there was no response at all. People were not interested. And let's say a few years later, it's all about, this is a scam, Ponzi scheme. So you can expect that as NFTs grow, there's still going to be a lot of questions around it. Same for me as a private individual.
I guess there's no telling whether your digital art will maintain its worth a decade later, but the invaluable core technology may remain. For Forkast, I'm Danny Park in Hong Kong.
And that's the Daily Forkast. And now, if you want a deeper dive on these stories, The Daily Forkast is now also a newsletter and is delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up at Forkast.News/newsletter. Thanks for watching. I'm Forkast Megha Chaddah. Until next time.